The title spare is derived from the aristocratic phrase the heir and the spare, referring to Harry's position as the second boy in a patriarchal monarchy. When Princess Diana, Harry's late mother, talked to BBC's Martin Bashir in 1995, she said she felt enormous relief when she found out her first baby was a boy, and even more so when she found out she was having a second. Fortunately, it was two boys. William his future being as it is, and Harry, like a form of a backup in that aspect. The following are the 11 biggest takeaways from Prince Harry's spare. Harry recreated Princess Diana's final moments. In a very sad part, the Duke of Sussex talks about going through the same tunnel in Paris where Diana died in a car accident in 1997. Harry was 23 years old and was attending the 2007 Rugby World Cup semi-finals in Paris. The World Cup provided me with a driver, and on my first night in the City of Light, I asked him if he knew the tunnel where my mother. I watched his eyes in the rear-view, growing large. The tunnel is called Pont de l'Alma, I told him, he wrote. According to Harry, he asked the driver to travel through the tunnel at 65 miles per hour. The exact speed Mummy's car had supposedly been driving, according to police, at the time of the crash. Not 120 miles per hour, as the press originally reported. After going through the tunnel, Harry remembered, we zipped ahead, went over the lip at the tunnel's entrance, the bump that supposedly sent Mummy's Mercedes veering off course. But the lip was nothing. We barely felt it. As the car entered the tunnel, I leaned forward, watched the light change to a kind of water orange, and watched the concrete pillars flicker past. I counted them, counted my heartbeats, and in a few seconds, we emerged from the other side. I sat back. Quietly I said, "Is that all of it?" "It's nothing. Just a straight tunnel." I'd always imagined the tunnel as some treacherous passageway, inherently dangerous, but it was just a short, simple, no-frills tunnel. No reason anyone should ever die inside it. He concluded that reliving her last trip didn't help him feel less sad. It had been a very bad idea. I'd had plenty of bad ideas in my 23 years, but this one was uniquely ill-conceived, he wrote. I told myself that I wanted closure, but I didn't really. Deep down, I'd hoped to feel in that tunnel what I'd felt when JLP gave me the police files, disbelief. Doubt. Instead, that was the night all doubt fell away. She's dead, I thought. My God, she's really gone for good. Harry urged Charles not to marry a wicked stepmother, Camilla. In her now famous BBC interview, Princess Diana talked about Charles' affair with Camilla Parker Bowles. She said, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." Although Prince Harry has never talked about his fling or his stepmother in public, he did say in Spare that he and William told his father not to marry her in 2005. Harry wrote, "Pa was going to do it even though Willie and I told him not to. We gave him a thumbs up and wished him luck. No hard feelings. We knew he was finally going to be with the woman he loved all along. Fate might have planned for him in the first place." He also reflected on his complicated relationship with his stepmother. "I remember wondering if she would be cruel to me. If she would be like all the evil stepmothers in the stories," he wrote. Willie had been suspicious of the other woman for a long time, which confused and tormented him. When those suspicions were confirmed, he felt agonizing remorse for not having done or said anything before. King Charles made sadistic jokes about Harry's real father and planted stories about royal family members. Since Harry is Princess Diana's second child, he grew up hearing that his real father wasn't the now King Charles, but her ex-lover Major James Hewitt. Harry described his father's enjoyment of making jokes about his parentage in spare. Pa liked telling stories, and this was one of the best in his repertoire. He'd always end with a burst of philosophizing. "Who knows if I'm even your real father?" He'd laugh and laugh, though it was a remarkably unfunny joke, given the rumor circulating just then that my actual father was one of Mummy's former lovers, Major James Hewitt. One cause of this rumor was Major Hewitt's flaming ginger hair, but another cause was sadism. Charles never talked to Harry about the rumors, but the prince hinted in spare that people who liked to spread stories loved the idea that Charles wasn't really Harry's dad. Maybe laughing at a young prince's life made them feel better about their own. "Never mind that my mother did not meet Major Hewitt until long after I was born," said Harry. Harry also claimed Charles spread stories about William and Kate's family, which made the older prince seething. As it turns out, a gung-ho member of Charles's communication team planned and launched a new campaign of getting good press for Charles and Camilla, but it cost the boys bad press. In a phone call, William allegedly told Harry, "They've done this to me for the last time. He told me he wasn't going to take it anymore." William went to see Charles, and Harry joined him as moral support. Charles wasn't happy about it. Pa got mad right away. He started yelling that Willie was paranoid. We were both. Just because we were getting bad press and he was getting good, that didn't mean his staff was behind it. Harry claimed William and Kate told him to wear the infamous Nazi costume. Harry made news all over the world when he was 20 and wore a Nazi costume to a party with a swastika band on his arm. The Sun released the picture, which was taken at a party with a native and colonial theme that William also went to. Harry said that William and Kate, who were 6 years away from getting married in 2005, told him to wear the outfit in spare. I phoned Willie and Kate and asked what they thought. Nazi uniform, they said, Harry wrote, saying he then tried the costume on in front of them. They both howled. Worse than Willie's leotard outfit. Way more ridiculous. Which, again, was the point. The former Duke said it was one of the worst things that ever happened to me. That being said, Harry makes it clear that he feels strongly about William's part in the scandal, which is strange because you would think he would own up to his part and move on without involving his brother. Harry claimed William mocked his anxiety. According to Harry, William also made fun of his brother's worsening mental health. In a spare, Harry stated, I was an agoraphobe. Which was practically impossible given my prominent role. Willie approached me backstage after one speech that could not be avoided or cancelled, during which I nearly fainted. Laughing, the Duke of Sussex claimed, Harold, look at you. You're drenched. Harry stated he couldn't fathom his brother's attitude. Him, of all people. He'd been present for my first panic attack. With Kate. We were heading to a polo event in Gloucestershire in their Range Rover. Willie looked at me in the review mirror as I sat in the back seat. He saw me sweating and red-faced. He said, Are you all right, Harold? No, I was not. It was a long drive, and every few miles I wanted to ask him to pull over so I could get out and regain my breath. In his memoir, Harry recalled that William had been aware of something bad happening in his mental health and had informed him I needed help that day or shortly thereafter. And now he is teasing me? I couldn't believe he could be that insensitive. But Harry said he was at fault too for the brothers' deteriorating relationship. Both of us should have known better, We should have recognized my crumbling emotional and mental states for what they were because we'd just started to discuss the launch of a public campaign to raise awareness around mental health. Harry claimed William, his archnemesis and beloved brother, physically assaulted him. In one of the most dramatic portions of the book, Harry recalls a confrontation with William at his London house in 2019. William described Meghan, Harry's wife, as difficult, rude, and abrasive, which Harry called a parrot of the press narrative about his American wife, as countless media headlines accused Markle of such things with quotes anonymous royal insiders and unidentified palace staff. Harry said he thought his brother would be smarter than repeating what the press was saying, but they ended up yelling at each other. The exchange became more aggressive, and Harry, appearing to want things to calm down, handed his brother a glass of water and allegedly said, "Willie, I can't speak to you when you're like this." Then, Harry wrote, he set down the water, called me another name, then came at me. It all happened so fast. So very fast. He grabbed me by the collar, ripping my necklace, and he knocked me to the floor. I landed on the dog's bowl, which cracked under my back, the pieces cutting into me. I lay there for a moment, dazed, then got to my feet and told him to get out. William appears to have departed but returned shortly after looking regretful and apologized, adding, "You don't need to tell Meg about this." Harry wrote that he didn't inform his wife right away, but instead called his therapist. As boys, we had done nothing but fight. But this felt different. Meghan soon observed the scrapes and bruises on his back, and Harry confessed about their fight. Meghan wasn't surprised or angry, but she was terribly sad. It's no surprise that Harry calls William archnemesis and his beloved brother in spare. Harry claimed that William wasn't his best man. The prince wrote in spare that he did not choose his older brother Prince William to be his best man at his wedding to Meghan Markle, as Buckingham Palace had previously stated. Harry added that he instead chose his old mate Charlie to perform the best man's responsibilities. Harry claimed that William cancelled last minute on their plans to go out for drinks with his buddies the night before he and Meghan were married. He told me, just before he attended tea with Granny, "Can't do it, Harold." Kate and the kids, Harry wrote. I'd reminded him that this was our tradition, that we'd had dinner before his wedding, that we'd gone together and visited the crowds. He held fast. "Can't do it." Harry admitted that watching his wife Meghan's sex scenes in Suits was a mistake. Every person in a pair gets jealous every once in a while, but marrying an actor is different because they often get close to other actors on screen, even if it's all fake. In his autobiography Spare, Prince Harry confesses to watching his then-girlfriend Meghan Markle on Suits, the show that brought her to fame. Harry claimed that he needed electric shock therapy to get her sex scenes out of his head. Harry admitted that he made the mistake of Googling and watching some of her love scenes online soon after they started dating. I'd witnessed her and a castmate mauling each other in some sort of office or conference room. I didn't need to see such things live. It seems that William and Kate enjoyed watching the legal comedy drama in which Meghan starred as Rachel Zane for 7 seasons. Willie and Kate explained that they were regular, nay, religious, viewers of Suits, Harry wrote in Spare. He didn't expect them to barrage him with questions about her. All this time I'd thought Willie and Kate might not welcome Meg into the family, but now I had to worry about them hounding her for an autograph, Harry explained. Markle's personal life had something to do with why her character had to leave the show. Meg moved out and quit her job on Suits. Harry wrote, after 7 seasons, it was a hard time for her because she loved that show, loved the character she was playing, loved her cast and crew, and loved Canada. On the other hand, life there had become unbearable. The show writers were frustrated because they were frequently advised by the palace communications team to change lines of dialogue, what her character would do, and how she would act, he said. The palace fought over Meghan's tiara, Harry's wedding beard, and the place of the ceremony. Before his 2018 wedding to Meghan Markle, which was shown on TV, there were many talks about where it should happen, what it should look like, and what royal jewels should be on display. In Spare, Harry described gaining permission from Queen Elizabeth II to keep his facial hair for the ceremony, but William bristled at the idea. Harry wrote, he wouldn't let it go. At one point, he told me to shave as the heir talking to the Spare. Do you mean it? Harry informed his brother that his opinion didn't really matter since Grandma Lizzie had already given her approval. Finally, I told him flatly and defiantly that his bearded brother was getting married soon, and he could either get on board or not. Harry said, the choice was for him. Then there was the matter of where to hold the event. William informed Harry that Westminster Abbey was not an option since it was where he and Kate got married. St. Paul's was too grand, and it was also where Charles and Diana got married. In fact, we wanted to look into it. Our dream was to get married barefoot in Botswana, with maybe a friend officiating, he wrote. But we were supposed to share this moment with other people. It was not up to us. Harry said, while waiting for a decree from on high, from the nebulous upper regions of the royal decision-making apparatus, we went off on a traditional engagement tour. Eventually, in May 2018, they got married at St. George's Chapel in Windsor. When it came to the jewellery Meghan was going to wear on her wedding day, it seems that Angela Kelly, the former senior dresser for Queen Elizabeth II, was obstructive when lending the Duchess to be an accessory for her wedding day. The bride was meant to wear a tiara from the Queen's own collection, but Kelly was unreachable on the day of the wedding. Harry said, Meg's hairdresser had come in from France for the rehearsal, and the tiara still wasn't there. He also said that he had tried calling Her Majesty's dresser and confidant several times, but could not reach her. Following that, she showed up out of nowhere with the accessory. I thanked her, though I added that it would have made our lives so much easier to have had it sooner. Her eyes were fire, the prince alleged, adding that he could read in her face lay clear warning. Harry said Charles told him there wasn't enough money to go around. Harry, a working member of the royal family, wrote in Spare that it was his father's responsibility to financially support him and his brother William. Pa didn't help Willie, me, and our families financially out of kindness, he said. That was his job. That was the whole thing. In exchange for feeding and clothing us, we agreed to serve the king, go wherever we were sent, and do whatever we were told. We also gave up our freedom and kept our hands and feet inside the golden cage at all times. His dad once said, there isn't enough money to go around for Meghan to get help because the prince was already having to pay for the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. But Harry soon started to think it wasn't about money at all. Pa might have dreaded the rising cost of maintaining us, but what he really couldn't stomach was someone new dominating the monarchy, grabbing the limelight, someone shiny and new coming in and overshadowing him, Harry said. He'd lived through that before and had no interest in living through it again. As soon as Meghan and Harry stopped working for the royal family, they stopped getting money. Harry once told CBS, I have what my mom left me, and without that, we would not have been able to do this. Meghan Markle was reprimanded for claiming Kate, who was pregnant with Prince Louis, must have a baby brain. Rumors of a rift between Prince Harry's wife, Meghan Markle, and Prince William's wife, Kate Middleton, have been circulating for years. There is truth to the row, according to the Duke of Sussex, who said that Meghan told Kate she must have a baby brain because of her hormones before Harry and Meghan's wedding. Harry wrote, "There was a discussion about the timing of the wedding rehearsal and the flower girl dresses, and Kate was very upset. Meghan said that Kate must have a baby brain because of her hormones. It caused a huge row because Meghan was told that she wasn't close enough to her sister-in-law to discuss her hormones, and it wasn't the way people spoke to each other within the royal family. It's clear from the book that Meghan thought the situation wasn't her fault, but it doesn't make her look great either." He also said that his sister-in-law felt forced to compete with Meghan, his wife. During their first Fab Four trip as Harry and Meghan, William and Kate went to London in February 2018 for the first Royal Foundation Forum. The audience was keen, all four of us were having fun, the whole atmosphere was hugely positive, Harry said in Spare. Days later, there was trouble. Something about the way Meg supported #MeToo while Kate didn't. That seems to be the main idea, but who knows? It wasn't true. Harry continued, "I think it had Kate on edge while putting her and everyone else on notice that she was now going to be compared to, and forced to compete with Meg." There was also an awkward moment when Meghan forgot her lip gloss and asked Kate if she could use hers. "It's an American thing," Harry said. Kate, taken aback, went into her handbag and reluctantly pulled out a small tube. Meg squeezed some onto her finger and applied it to her lips. Kate grimaced. There were more cultural distinctions between Meghan and William. William, known for his stiff upper lip, was surprised when Meghan hugged her new brother-in-law on their first meeting. He was really scared by it. He pulled back. Willie didn't hug many strangers, while Meg hugged most people she didn't know. At the same time, Harry said it was all very pleasant when Meghan met the late Queen Elizabeth II for the first time. The Queen asked Meghan what she thought about President Donald Trump's first term if he won the 2016 election. They met in July 2016, but Trump won in November. He could see why she would be interested since everyone in the world was talking about him running. But Meghan quickly changed the subject to Canada, since she had lived there while shooting Suits. Granny looked pleased. Commonwealth. Good, fine, Harry wrote in Spare. And there you have it, the 11 biggest takeaways from Prince Harry's Spare. Harry is stated to be very happy with its commercial success, having sold 3.2 million copies globally in a week, and having no regrets about any of the revelations, and he's relieved to have got his story out into the world. The response has been just phenomenal.